Hi, everybody, and welcome to Connersville Speaks. This edition in November means it's winter sports time at CHS, and we have three fellows here from CHS that are going to talk about all the winter sports that are getting underway and are about to get underway at CHS. Way away from me is Brent Duncan. He's the athletic director at CHS. Next to him is Michael Thompson, the girls' basketball coach. And next to me is Chris Bottomley. He's the junior varsity coach. And we welcome you guys to Connersville Speaks.
Thanks, Fran.
Michael, you're underway. What about your season so far?
Well, we had the one game last Friday night at Mount Vernon, which is always a tough opponent to start off with. We played very, very well in the first half. Mm-hmm. We had about a 4 to 5 minute bad stretch in the third quarter, and that was the difference in the ball game right there.
Sure.
We ended up losing by 12, same exact amount of points that we lost to them last year in the first game of the year. In the fourth quarter, I thought we bounced back pretty well. You take away that 4 or 5 minute stretch, and it's a 2-point ball game. So overall, happy. And it's the first game of the year. So I thought we did a lot of positive things, and we saw, absolutely things that we need to work on.
Another game tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night at Centerville. So first 2 games on the road, and then Saturday night we come back home and our first home opener with Anderson.
That ball game that you played at Mount Vernon, what did you find out that you need to work on most right now?
Well, one of the things that I was worried about is, I say it's our transition defense, but it's more of our reaction time. When we shoot and we miss and our opponent gets a rebound, we pause and we hesitate for a second, and we normally have a bad habit of taking a step towards the ball instead of taking a step to start getting back, and that's what happened in that run. They got an offensive rebound, a putback. We fouled them, so there was 3 points, and they got 4 straight layups on fast breaks. So it went from a 2-point game to 13 in a matter of less than 2 minutes. And it was something I was concerned about before the season started. So something that we really worked hard on this week was sprinting to get back and making sure that our reaction time is a little bit quicker.
Mount Vernon, a veteran team? Did they have a lot of returning
returned
players?
All 5 starters from last year,
okay,
minus the big girl, Moore, that went on to Purdue, but she was injured most all of last year and didn't start really the whole entire season. So, yeah, they're a veteran club. Their point guard, Sydney Shelton, is a junior now, definite Indiana All-Star. She's already committed to the University of Kentucky. And she's very special. I mean, she is a player. And I felt fortunate because I thought she was a little off on the first game for her. She struggled a little bit, and she scored 22. But just this past Tuesday night, I think she had 18 or 19 points at halftime against Lawrence Central. So she's a very special player.
Yes.
And I thought we did pretty well.
Good. Chris, you're pinch hitting for head coach Kerry Brown tonight. Kerry, I guess, is under the weather.
Yes, he is. He's unable to speak.
Well, we wish him a quick recovery because the season opens for the boys Spartans just around the corner.
Yep, Wednesday night, our annual Union County game.
The biggest crowd of the season will be there, probably.
Yeah, it usually is. The kids come home from college and get to visit with kids they haven't seen for a while. Besides, Union County pretty much brings most of their city down, and we bring a pretty good crowd come in and see what we have to offer for this year. So.
How the practice has been going?
We're still trying to figure out things and smooth out what we want to do, and just we got a couple returners coming back from last season, so no starters are guaranteed, and kids are going to have to earn their way into some starting spots and see what we got going on.
When did official practices begin? What's the IHSAA's rule?
We started November. Brent, can you help me on that? November
17th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, November 10th.
November 10th.
And you're
November
allowed
10th.
so many practices by the IHSAA? Is that what it is?
Yeah, they're all a couple weeks, counting the girls. Once the girls started, they kind of made those uniform a few years back so that the boys' preseason practice times was not longer than the girls, so everybody gets just a tad over 2 weeks before. You get 2 weeks, and then you can start playing your games.
Okay. Brett, you oversee all the sports activities at CHS. You schedule the buses.
We get their bus times, and Wendy Sargent, my secretary, works with Jane Empley, the transportation director, and they take care of all the buses, not only for all the athletic teams, we actually do the bowling team as well.
And what else do you do other than schedule buses?
Hire officials, do contracts, supervise, whatever it takes to get it done.
You work on schedules every so often?
I just inked a contract with Monrovia High School for scrimmage for football yesterday for the next 4 years. So we just moved a girls basketball game for next year because, as you know, the girls basketball season is going to start a week earlier next year. So all of our last 3 games at the end of the season we need to move because 2 of them would be in the sectional week. So I just was in the process of moving one of them today and made a few changes yesterday from the lower levels. So every time you think you have it set, something goes awry, and down the road we go.
Chrissy
mentioned a scrimmage. Spartans got a scrimmage Saturday.
Yeah, we scrimmage against Knightstown, 2 o'clock, I believe, Saturday. And so it's always nice because, you know, you're going head-to-head with the players every day, the same guys, and beating up on each other. So it's nice to play somebody else and a little excitement. And it'll be fun to see them a little bit excited and going out there. And usually shots are long and some little things are miscued, so it'll be interesting to get that out of our system, I guess.
When the fans come, well, they won't see an actual game, will they? What's the scrimmage? What's it consist of?
I think Brent might be able to answer that more, but I know we go for a few quarters with the varsity for a certain amount of time. We'll do like a man-to-man, half court, and then we'll do some full court press stuff. They might do some zone in our zone. Preferably coaches kind of discuss what they do. JV might get in there for a quarter sometimes, sometimes not. And I don't know, they'll probably go 4 or 5 quarters deep, I guess, and play it out. So.
How long does it last, Brent, a scrimmage?
It's 4 quarters, and I'm trying to remember if it's 15-minute running clock, I believe.
Well, you have 2 options. You can go. One option is 4 quarters that are 15 minutes long, running clock, and then the other one is 5 quarters, 12 minutes running clock. And Chris was right. Like the first quarter is man-to-man, both teams must play. Second quarter, both teams must play a zone. Third quarter, you can press if you agree upon it. And the fourth quarter, you can do whatever you want. Fourth and fifth quarter, if you play 5.
Okay.
So it's always set up a little more controlled.
Admission charge to this?
About $3 normally for our scrimmage, a little cheaper because it's just, you know, it's running clock, less time, just gets kind of a preview. And so starting at 2 o'clock on Saturday at the bowl.
And you alternate with Knightstown every other year, I believe.
Yes, last year we were there. And, of course, every year if they want to change scrimmage partners, then you're looking to get a new partner to scrimmage against. But so far we've probably done them the last 4 or 5 years.
Any new teams on the schedules this year?
For the girls, Columbus East, Jennings County, Union County, Cardinal Ritter. And for the boys, we've added Shelbyville, Mooresville. I was going through them all, Northeastern and Broad Ripple. Actually, we can actually play 22 regular season games this year. I should say upped it to right at the end of the last school year. Came official like May 1st, so there's a lot of scrambling going on last spring, grabbing teams and getting on your schedule. So we're kind of happy to have someone back on our schedule. We haven't been a while since we played Shelbyville in the boys, and the first time we played Union County for a long time, if ever.
Very long time. Yep.
So.
Then Northeastern's, that's at Fountain City, isn't it?
Yeah, first year, you know, of course, they're strong contenders, regional qualifiers last year at 2A, and they want us to come to their place for the first year. So we're going to make a little trip to Fountain City in February. Last game of the year.
Let's see, you play 11 games home and 11 away, Michael?
I think we're almost there. Yeah. Well, and I have my tournament, so that takes away a couple of games right there. I think last year we were 9-9, so I think we might be even this year, maybe 10-10, and then our tournament is away.
Is it still Rumble on the river?
Still Rumble on the river. I really like that tournament. I like going down there. The only bad thing this year, I feel bad for the girls, is that it's gonna start the day after Christmas. So we're gonna have Christmas and then get on the bus early the next day and go. But it's just the way the calendar fell this year. Next year it'll be back to a normal, you know, a few days after Christmas. But it's always a lot of good competition. Teams from all over the state. You've got McCutcheon there from Lafayette. Fishers is there. ourselves, and then mostly after that it's Southern teams that we would never see. Madison is going to be our first opponent this year, and they're new to the tournament, and they have been pretty good the last couple of years. So somebody new and different that we'll be able to see down there.
Chris, Spartans go to Richmond again for a tourney during the holidays?
And I think we're at the first of the year with that tournament, and like a week later than Coach Thompson's. And talking to the athletic directors over at Richmond, I said, and this is the best lineup in the state this year up there. So it's going to be loaded. The teams are loaded. I believe it's online. People can look it up and look at some of the previews of teams coming to the tournament at Richmond. And it's a fun-filled few days of a lot of basketball. The JV normally plays in it as well. We usually get a couple games out of it, possibly 4, and we'll play those other places like the junior high and the boys club and things like that in Richmond.
Yes.
So.
Do you know how many or who the Spartans will play in their game?
I don't know.
I have not seen the drawing
Pairings
yet.
haven't been
I don't know if
announced
the
yet.
drawing's been out, but the teams that are in it are out.
Okay.
So.
Let's see. I know Kerry likes that very much.
Yeah, it's very sectional-like, regional-like, kind of the old days. We play a couple games in the same day. Yeah,
noon
morning,
and night, I think.
Yeah, there's a possibility. I think possibility of playing actually 3 games, but I think they try to keep it to 2 a day, and then it's a good time. It reminds you of the old days of your regionals and morning and evening games. So.
Sure. Michael, let's talk about some of your individuals. Who are some of your players?
Well, we did return our senior Taylor Stephen, who is probably, I'm just going to say, the best ball handler in the state of Indiana.
She's fun to watch.
She is, and I say it all the time, she keeps us in ball games just because we don't turn it over as much. And it's amazing sometimes at the end of the game, after I do our stats and see that we have 7, 8 turnovers or whatever it may be. And I don't care who it is. You watch a college game and they average 15-plus turnovers a game. So glad to have her back for her senior year. Senior Courtney Phillips is back and looking stronger than obviously than she was last year after knee surgery at her sophomore year.
Yes.
So I'm glad to see that. We've got senior Preet Carr. I know I have another senior, Destiny Rue. She started for us the other night. And then Amanda Cobb and Ashley Coker are our junior post players. They got a lot of experience last year. Kelsey Barrett is a junior that's out right now with concussion. And I probably won't play this weekend. I know she won't play this weekend. Probably not next Tuesday, but maybe the following weekend right after Thanksgiving. I think she'll have enough practices back in and be able to get back in there. And then have a junior, Preet and Ruby Carr. Ruby came back and played this year.
Good.
And then I have 3 sophomores that are doing a good job right now, and Cheyenne Henry, Bailey Flanagan, and Michaela Taylor. And I'm really looking to some things out of those sophomores. And my biggest thing is they really need to get a lot of playing time this year because we're going to lose a lot. We're just losing Taylor and the ball handling alone right there. So they need to get as much experience as possible at the varsity level this year.
Speaking of Taylor and Courtney, TV3's Sydney Toslog had a chance to interview them, so let's listen to that interview right now.
I expect the season to go pretty well. It could be scary at times because we're so young, but I think we'll handle it pretty well.
I think we should do pretty well. We should be better than last year. We should probably come top 3 in our conference at least, and hopefully win sectionals.
To prepare for the season, we've done a lot of conditioning, a lot of shooting drills just to get us back in shape and get us back to where we were at the end of the season last year. And been going over a lot of the plays, trying to get the younger girls to know them better. Me specifically, I've been working on driving to the basket more, not relying on the 3 so much, trying to drive the lane and attract defenders.
I've been trying to use more fakes, slow my game down because sometimes I get in a rush. To keep the team together and bring in my own leadership, I'm just going to kind of, when there's any drama, just settle it. Just make sure the girls know everything, all the plays, all the defensive plays. Make sure everything's clear and so everyone knows what exactly to do.
To show leadership more, I'm going to communicate with my teammates more, such as the younger girls, showing them what to do. Like if they're confused on a play, I'll show them how to run it in games. I'll tell them what positions they need to be in and just try to help them get better.
The basketball program here at Connersville, I think, definitely has helped me for my collegiate level. I've learned how to become a leader a lot better, learned how to communicate. Coach Thompson has helped me get through those things.
I've had some really great coaches over the years being here, and especially Coach Thompson. He's prepared me very well. I really want to win another sectional. The sectional we won, I was hurt and didn't get to play in, so I'm really excited for this sectional to try to win it again.
We just have to play hard, play our game. I mean, if not, it's definitely going to be hard, but I think we have a shot.
I remember being a little girl and like looking at all the girls playing out there and just knowing how excited I'd be when I got my chance to play in there. And it's just an awesome feeling, like there's nothing better than playing in the bowl. 1, 2, 3, beat the Marauders!
Michael, these gals are well-spoken, and I'm sure they're team leaders, and your underclassmen look up to them for guidance and help.
I hope so.
Yes.
You know, we talk about that a lot as far as, you know, your senior leaders, your juniors, whatever it may be. And I think it's very critical this year because we had a lot of freshmen come out this year. So I have 15 out of our 26 players are freshmen. So we need very positive leadership, you know, on the floor, off the floor, at school, on the bus, in the locker room, wherever it may be. We need the girls to step up and show the younger girls what it's supposed to be like and what it takes to be a Lady Spartan.
All those freshmen, you have a freshman team?
We do.
Okay.
We haven't had one in a couple years now. So I think we have 6 girls right now that's on the freshman team, but I have all freshmen. I have 9 freshmen on the JV. So I'll be rotating probably 3 girls each freshman game to go down, maximize all of our playing time and all of our quarters the best that we can. And, you know, every one of those JV players need that extra playing time as well. And we were talking the other day about, you know, how glad we were that we had 15 girls come out, but we started looking at the girls that are on JV. Almost half of them were on our white team last year. So we had several, you know, 8th grade red team, which is our A, you know, is what it used to be. It didn't come out. And we've got quite a few girls that were on the white team that are out there, and I'm pleased with them right now. And I thought they played very hard the other day, harder than I had watched them play in the past. Long way to go, you know, to develop and work on their skills, but I think I like the way they work.
You know, in the conference last year, I think, ended up 5-2.
Yes.
Losing to Rushville and
East Central. Yes. And those were our last 2 conference games of the year. And that's where we need to be at again this year. So it's very critical we win those first 5 to give ourselves a chance, because East Central Rushville is basically 3 days apart last week of the season leading up to sectional. So that's where I hope to be at, that top third again. And if we can go 5-0 and give ourselves a chance at the end, you know, I'll be very happy.
Well, that Eastern Indiana Athletic Conference, I believe it's called, they have some pretty tough teams in there.
They do. Rushville, you know, joining us, and, you know, their tradition. They've had a lot of tournament success over the, you know, many years really, but the last few years they've done very well. Right now, East Central is very good. You know, they went out, they came from nowhere, basically the bottom of the conference to the top real quick, and they have 30, 40 girls over there playing right now. They've got probably, I'd say 4 or 5 that are going to go play at the next level. You know, maybe Division II or Division I. I know that the big girls already looking at a lot of the MAC schools, and then right now Greensburg is going to be very tough the next few years. They have a lot of very good freshmen. I went and watched them play the other day and was very impressed with them as a group of freshmen out there playing. So they're on the upswing right now.
Chris, let's talk about the boys Spartans. Talk about the roster and some of the players.
We have returning seniors of Tyler Miller and Andrew Stein from last season. They'll be back. We also have 2 more seniors that came back to play this year, Micah Kelly and Bryce Howard. We got our juniors, junior Tyler Billups. Also, Bo Isaacs will be back this year, played a lot last year as a freshman. He'll be a sophomore this year for us. Chandler Graves is a junior, played for me last year in the JV. Did a really good job for me last year, so I'm hoping he'll do a good job this year for the varsity. Grant Smith will be a sophomore this year. He should be getting some varsity time. Played a lot for me last year in the JV as well. Dalton Huffman played for me last year as well in the JV. He should be up to varsity, getting some minutes, playing both ways probably, using all the quarters we can with him. And I think that's all the varsity guys I can think of right now. We have a couple freshmen that we moved up for the JV, so getting some practice times. Garrett Silcott, Wes Smith, Braylon Seeley, and Dalton Lee are up on the JV right now with our sophomores that are playing there. So anybody can get any job ahead of them, and that's why we like to have practice the way we do. So their job is to take somebody's job ahead of them and see if we can get some playing time out of them guys.
Some of these names are familiar because they play other sports, and I know all coaches I talk to want their players, if they can, to participate in other sports.
Most definitely. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. There's no doubt that even today, they're pretty much year-round. It seems like every sport, but it's nice to get a break from something and go do something else, and that's just my personal opinion. I love seeing the kids doing what they can, out there competing. It's hard to replace competition as you get older, so it's nice to have all you can do when you're young. So it's important.
Okay, you talked about Andrew Stein and Ty Miller, and Cindy had an opportunity to speak to these young men, and here's that interview.
This season, I'd say I want definitely a winning record and just have a great time with all my teammates, and maybe get a sectional at the end. That'd be awesome.
I think if we take care of the ball better and limit our turnovers, that would give us a better shot, because we're pretty good defensively, I think, again, and the more we have the ball, we should be able to get some more points and not have it so low scoring that we have to worry about defense every play.
Work has been really good. We've done a lot of individual stuff, worked on individual things that we can bring together as a team. We've worked at also team goals that help us prepare for the season and then eventually sectional. I've been working a lot on my dribbling and my driving, because I can shoot, but it's easy to guard just a shooter. You have to be able to do multiple things. And I've also been working on my defense.
I think I need to score a little bit more to help get the pressure off Tyler and Ty, and just to get the ball where it needs to be. Yeah, if I'm smart with my passing and keep care of the ball, then that should help us limit turnovers.
This year as a leader, I'd like to just show what to do during wins and losses and help the team get better in any way possible, definitely. Yes, I'm pumped. It should be really awesome, definitely be a lot of hype, a lot of excitement as always, and just a great start to a great year.
Well, it should be exciting because playing in the bowl is always fun, all the big games and rivals, and I hope that we can have a winning record. That would be one of the main goals, and obviously sectionals is always the other one. Playing in the bowl is one of the best feelings you could have with all the fans and just the tradition with it, and I'm looking forward to another year playing in it.
I think the season will just be a lot of fun, definitely. A lot of people will be surprised what we can do. I think we'll have an amazing year, honestly.
Chris, last year the Spartans averaged about 48 points a game, and the defense averaged about 42. Really, these are low scores, I think, because as you see scores in the paper the day after ball games, they're up in the 50s and 60s, some of these schools. So is it the style of play that you and Kerry instruct these guys to play? Does that hold the scores down? Is that what you want?
Well, it's, most definitely you want to hold teams defensively. It gives you a better opportunity to score on yourself. But being patient, taking good shots on offense are important. I don't know why you would probably take a bad shot to give the other team an opportunity to go down and score. So having good, high percent shots and doing what you need to do to be successful sounds like a key to success. Last year I believe Ty Miller was one of the top leaders in the state in the three-point percentage, and I don't know off the top of my head what it is, but I know he was in the top. I shot around 40% from the three-point line, and them are all great shot selections, and hopefully we continue doing high percent shots.
So you really teach discipline and be patient.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's the key to success. You've got to play great defense to give you the opportunity to go score. Of course, you want your defense to create your offense. That'd be the best opportunity to have to transition, getting the ball down the court and being successful. So I'd love, push tempo up and score a lot of points and, be in the 60s and hold them to the 40s still.
Sure.
So, if your defense can create offense for you, that's an easy game for you. So.
Michael, you look at the game the same way?
Yeah, and it varies, you know. I mean, your game plan is going to be different, and I'm thinking as Chris is talking there, you know, I think Kerry does a tremendous job of game planning and, you know, preparing his kids. And there's games, you know, quite frankly, they shouldn't be in, and they are in because of their defense and because of their patience on the offense. You know, Greensburg game, you know, you look at teams like that, Richmond just athletically, you know, doesn't compare to us, and that's just, you know, the truth, and it's the same on our side. Last year, I thought we played, can't think, Scottsburg down in the Rumble on the River, and they've got 3 girls 6 foot tall. They have big guards, and they're good. You know, they're ranked in the top 5 in 3A, and we beat them. We shouldn't have. You know, in reality, they're just better than we are. Greenfield the last couple of years, we've done a very good job against them, and I think it's just how you go into, you know, what your plan is and what's going to give you the best opportunity to win. And it may vary. You know, it's Friday night for us, I'm going to want to push the ball against Centerville, and Saturday night I'm going to try to walk it if it's at all possible, playing against Anderson. So you just want to put, you know, do the best that you can to plan to try to put your kids in a place that they can be successful.
Brent, there are sports during the winter. Let's talk about some of those. Swimming's already underway, isn't it?
Yeah, girls swimming had their first meet last week and won. Boys swimming is starting as well. They haven't had their first meet yet. It's coming up next week. Wrestling's getting ready to roll. Gymnastics doesn't start till next Monday.
Right.
I'm probably missing some. Basketball, swimming. That's all 6 of them for the wintertime. So.
Okay. Wrestling has their big tournament again during the holidays?
Yeah, it has to be moved a little bit. I'm like Michael. We were scheduled to go the day after Christmas, and I'm not comfortable having teams from northern Indiana, and we had a team coming from Evansville this year to have to travel on Christmas night. So we actually moved it to January 2nd and January 3rd, so we moved it back a week. We have, I think I had 3 teams that said 4 teams that weren't coming back, so I got 4 teams replaced. Then the state put in a state wrestling tournament on top of the same date as mine, so I had 5 teams that wanted to compete in it, so I got 5 more. So we still have 32 teams coming. But if you're a wrestling nut, January 2nd, January 3rd at Spartan Bowl, that's a place to be.
All sports tickets are available, but I think all sports tickets are not good for that tournament. Is that right, or are they?
No, that's correct. That's a separate thing.
Yes,
you have to buy a ticket to get in.
A lot of sports for your money, though, with the wrestling and swimming and basketball.
Well, I think I figured out last year there's 200 and some home events, and for a student that's $40 for a ticket, and for an adult $60, and for a senior citizen $55. So if you want to come watch all 220 of them, you can get a bang for your buck at that rate.
Now's the time to get them as the season is just beginning.
You can purchase them anytime you want, all year long.
Okay.
You know, it's the same price. It used to go up a little bit as the months went along. My opinion is it's the price. If you want to miss out on the first half of the year and only come watch the second half of the year, that's your choice.
And they're available at your office?
They are available at the office every day from 7:30 to 4:30, and just come through the courtyard, and because all the outside doors at the high school are locked because of safety purposes, so you do have to enter through the courtyard. But Ms. Sargent will be more than happy to take care of you.
What about the swimming teams? The girls, I know, lost some excellent swimmers. They had some excellent swimmers coming back, though.
Sure, they have a good, you know, of course they lost 4 seniors, and then I will never get all their names, you know, Paxton Drew and Bailey Weiler and Kerrigan Baker, and go down the list. I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but they have capable swimmers back. Reese Drew's back, Morgan Geis is back. I'm sure, I know I'm missing people. Tate Adams, Sydney Huber, also a gymnast, is now diving. Morgan Charles is back as a diver. I know there's a little Weiler girl, another Weiler girl coming, Macy, and Carly Templeton. So they had a pretty good showing against the Rushville Lady Lions the other night, and wasn't really very close. And of course, you know, last year in the conference they won all 12 events. So
yes.
I don't know that we can duplicate that, but we would take that if that can happen. And that conference meeting, in fact, will be at the high school this year. It's our turn to host, and so
good.
I can't tell you the exact date off the top of my head. I want to say January 24th, but don't hold me to that. So, but sometime in that area.
What about the boys? What can you tell us about boys swimming?
I think the boys have kind of got a little bit better in the last few years. In the past years when I was here, it was just a number thing. We didn't have. Now we're getting more depth in numbers, and swimming is a lot like track. The more athletes you can put in the water, points come around a little bit easier. But I'm definitely going to draw a blank on them. Alan Volts is back. We did graduate quite a few seniors last year, so Alan sticks out in my mind right now, and I'm sure there's somebody else. There's a younger Metcalf kid, and I haven't seen them as often as I've seen the girls because they've only been in there for about a week working out. So there's a couple Key Faber boys and a slew of divers. It seems like he has 6 or 7 of them. So there's a couple Barrick-Low boys in there, and so
Good.
hopefully the depth will help us in the long run.
What about the swimmer? What about the wrestling team? Did Mike lose a lot of?
Well, the last 2 years we've kind of lost quite a few. We did lose 3 or 4 or 5 seniors last year, and we're really hurting for some weight classes. We don't have a lot towards the top end of the weight class. It seems like we have a lot of little 138s, 145s, 120s, but that 220 pounder and that 195 and the 180s are all, But you have Colton Gonzalez back that was 7th in the state at 170.
Sure.
You got Dylan Shirkey back and Brooke Bunch back. Those are your 3 seniors that are coming back, and a lot of young kids. So I know there's a lot of youth wrestling that goes out there every night or Wednesday night. They got a lot of little youth kids wrestling. So maybe in time they'll all start coming back up in time. But in the last 3 years, he's lost quite a few of the kids that have just strictly been good wrestlers. So.
What about gymnastics? What can we expect from that crew?
Well, they lost a few too. They were 7th in the state last year as a team. 3 of them have graduated. We do have Sydney Huber back, Emily Stein back. Those are our 2 seniors, and of course throw in junior Kylie Elliman. There's a couple freshmen that have done some gymnastics as the younger kids and kind of got out, and now they're coming back and getting back into it again. So they don't start practice until Monday, but we'll see where we go. But we have 3 solid gymnasts back, and that's all you need in the state meet is 3 scores. So we have a doctor in town that has a great gymnast, but she's still living in Louisville, so we would take her if she wants to move in, I'm sure.
Their season doesn't begin, though, till after first of the year, doesn't it?
Yeah, they have a preview night in December just amongst ourselves, just to get them out on the equipment in front of people, and then they don't start really until after the first of the year.
Before we leave the winter sports thing, I think we need to mention about all the help that the players get through the Spartanettes, the cheerleaders, the band. I mean, that adds so much to the ball games, and I know you want to congratulate those people that take part in.
Sure, I think Coach Jenny Mitchell does a great job with our cheerleaders, and of course Sandy Toshlock does a super job with their Spartanettes, and Mr. McKean with the band and getting them down closer to the floor last year. I think they were excited because they felt more a part of the game, and I don't know if you can go too many places and see as much pregame hoopla that is put on than what comes out in the bowl when you stand out there and there's 45 cheerleaders and Spartanettes out dancing and doing pre-games and the lights go off and the spotlights come on. But they do add some atmosphere. As Michael says, we can go to the Rumble on the River and watch a lot of basketball. It's just you hear the thumping and the thumping. And it's good to get the cheerleaders involved, and hopefully our kids will get involved in the stands with our cheerleaders and our Spartanettes and make it even a better atmosphere.
Sure.
So.
Sure. It's a lot of entertainment for the fans and everything.
If you want to pay at the door, it's $5. It's 2.5 hours to 3 hours of just good entertainment.
What year is this for you as athletic director?
This is my 3rd as full-time and 7th in the program overall.
You coached also before you became athletic director?
Yeah, but I won't tell you how many years. 20 years on the basketball court.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many years on football, 1 year of baseball. And I've coached track and cross country at other places, so I enjoy it. My wife does coach gymnastics, so it's kind of been in our blood.
Michael, what year is this for you?
I know this is my 10th year as the head coach, but I think this is my 19th year, maybe 20th, but I think my 19th year in the program. My very first year when I started teaching, I ran into Larry Miller in the hallway, and Larry had just taken over the girls' job, and he immediately said, and he started talking to me, and I'm so glad that he did. I've really enjoyed it.
Good.
I love being a part of the Lady Spartan basketball program.
We have a winning program, I believe.
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
I've been very fortunate, since I've been here, actually, but, since I've been the head coach, I've had a lot of very, very good basketball players and just good people in general.
Chris, how many years have you been involved with
This
CHS?
is my 7th year as the JV coach. And I was in 9 years as a coach as a middle school, so 16 years for me. And in our basketball program, my first JV year was 1995. I coached for Howard Renner on that JV year, and I moved away and came back later. But I started then and took a few years off and came back to Connersville. So.
What inspired you guys to become coaches? Was there a coach that encouraged you, or just how'd you become a coach? Brent, how did it happen?
I don't know, it's just something that's always, I'm not saying I started out to be a teacher, I really didn't, but just kind of got involved and knew I didn't want to sit in the office every day, and my mom said something about teaching, so about 1980 when I stepped through the college doors at Ball State, I switched my major and became a teacher, and coaching is just something I love. I had a middle school coach that really just, I enjoyed what he did. He's actually my basketball coach, and then my high school basketball coach was very influential in a lot of things I did, so. It's been 29 years of standing on the courts and the sidelines. So.
Yes. And Michael, do you have someone that inspired you?
Well, I think when I interviewed for this job, there were some questions, about sort of the same question, but I think you look back, and I think I just enjoy athletics in general. Love to compete. Now I really enjoy teaching the game, but I think you look back of all the coaches you've ever had, and you take the good, the bad, and the indifferent of every one of them, and I think that's a part of what you want to do, what you want to try to emulate, and I thought I played for a lot of very good coaches, and not only teaching the sport, but just good people, and so I think you just kind of look at back and try to take a little bit of what you want to be and make that who you want to be.
Chris, when did you get the coaching bug, or whatever you call it?
Well, I've been competitive my whole life. I think that's my biggest drive. I still play in an adult basketball league now, and I played in a soccer league this summer for the first time, and really enjoyed that. So the competitiveness, I love it. I've always been competitive, and the drive to be successful is pretty much drove me through life. For work, getting up and going to work every day, it was easy to get up and go to practice, so it's easy to get up and go to work. So that's the longevity of it, is that it makes you just a better person in the long run. I think a hard worker in life, and a better father, and all that good stuff.
I do want to add this, though. I may be a little wrong. Brent's first year at CHS
was their senior year in high school.
Was our senior year in high school, yeah. Me and Michael graduated at the same time.
Yeah. So he came in as an assistant basketball coach his first year, and it was our senior year. Yeah.
So Brent, does that make you the elder gentleman or something around?
Just one of the guys in the line.
Michael, I know, to leave basketball for just a second, you have a very important job at CHS. In addition to your regular teaching, you have a college. Talk to us about the college program and what it's accomplished, and how CHS became one of the few schools that
we are only one of 7 early college high schools in the state of Indiana. And the difference between an early college high school and being a school that offers college credits is a student can get in a pathway. It's what it's called. And for example, we have what's called the STEM pathway, which is more towards science, technology, engineering, and math. We are adding now just a general pathway, so any student that's going to go to college has to get all those prerequisite classes out of the way: your math, your science, your English, social studies, and then we also have a business pathway. And what that does is it guarantees you 30 credit hours, finished, completed in high school. All of them are free, and that's 1 year of college completed. So we have students that now can go wherever I go, Ball State, IU, whatever it is, they have to take those 30 credits, and it has to go towards that first year. And so after one semester and that school accepts those credits, you're automatically a sophomore, immediately. And you're working on your second year. So you can cut your first year of college out of the way. And IU, Purdue, Ball State, all of them are $22,000 a year, plus all your expenses. So I say, that's $30,000 saved right here. It's an excellent opportunity for our students, and I still think the parents need to learn more about it, you know, and as well the students, because it's still fairly new. But it's a great opportunity, and they really need to take advantage of it.
How many students have gone through the program?
None so far, because this is only our second year of being an early college high school. So this year's sophomores is the first class of students that will be able to get that complete. So we've had a lot of students graduate with many college credits. We've had several that have collected 40, 50, 60 college credits, but there's no guarantee that the college has to take those credits.
I see.
With the pathway, it's guaranteed. So that's the biggest difference right there. So it's a great opportunity, you know. And I know my daughter's getting ready to come up, and we're trying to get the information in the middle school as much as possible. We've partnered up with the middle school so that they can start working on things to just get kids I think more just excited for college, about the opportunity that's there, that they can go to college if that's something that they wish to do, and they shouldn't allow cost to get in the way. You know, you're talking a kid can come through, have 1 year complete, go to Ivy Tech and finish up an associate's degree in 1 year, and, you know, minimal cost. So it's a great opportunity for our town and our community.
Do you have help in your program, or do you have teachers, or?
Yeah, I don't know how many teachers we have total, but I think around 15 or so that are qualified to teach. Your partnering university has to basically say that you're qualified to do it, and for most of them, you have to have a master's in your area, and so many years of teaching experience. So most of us, we work through Ivy Tech. We do have 2 or 3 teachers that work through Indiana University, and I think we have one maybe that's going through Vincennes, maybe, foreign language. I think that might be the case, but you know, it's a lot of work, you know, on our end. It's a little extra work. We're trying to make sure that we are giving the kids a college environment, that we're giving them a college curriculum and trying to hold them to those standards. You know, for example, I had a homework assignment the other day that was due in one of my college classes, and a handful of kids came in and didn't have it done, and they sit down and did it during class at some point and handed it to me on my desk, and I threw it in the trash can. You know, it was due, you know, it was homework, and it was due when it was due, and I'm not going to take it late.
Very good.
You know, so something that some are going to have to get used to a little bit. And it's a lot of, hopefully, studying, a lot of reading, and trying to get them prepared for what's really, truly going to be like when they go to college.
Yeah, you're teaching them almost college experience.
And that's a big part of it, too.
Yes.
It's not only the curriculum, it's here's what's expected from you, and here's what you can expect from us, and hopefully they're going to have to do a lot more reading and being a little bit more responsible for their own learning as well.
Very interesting. I hope some folks that are watching tonight will become interested in the program, and the parents urge their youngsters to take part.
Absolutely.
Brent, we have some graduates of CHS that have moved on to college and doing very well. What can you tell us about some of them?
Well, you kind of lose touch with some of them unless they come back to see you, but I can just give you, 2 or 3 names just off the top of your head. Zach Miller is a senior, I believe, at Bethel.
Yes.
Had a very outstanding career. I think Coach Bowling said he's getting ready to break the 3-point.
Yeah, he's getting ready to break a 3-point record, I think, made. I'm not sure what it is, but I know he's up there right now.
I think he was if I remember from a couple years ago, he was either the 2nd or 3rd fastest guy to get to 1,000 points in school history. So he's just had an outstanding career up there, just a great young man. Paxton Drew's in her first year at Xavier University on a swim team, and twice already this season she's been named Big East Swimmer of the Week, which bodes really well for her. She kind of hit her plateau here a little bit and get to that next level, and new environment and new training techniques, and you're taking that next step. And then Matt Hill just this week was named, I believe, Conference Freshman of the Year. He's running at Rose-Hulman, and their team has been invited to the Division III, I think, cross-country invitational, and they're NAIA, and I think they're been invited up because they were in the top X amount of schools in the country, and he's been a vital part of that as a freshman down there.
There wasn't a whole lot of publicity about it, but 3 weeks ago, the executive committee at the IHSAA talked about altering the format for basketball. Do you guys know anything about that? I know it went down in flames, but they wanted to change it again, and
Yeah, they'd like to get to 3 classes and then split the 3 classes into 2 sections, and then after X amount of times at the regional level, then we'd all get back to about a 16-team semi-state, give or take, kind of the gist of it a little bit. But, it took football coaches for a long time before they finally got some things changed. So I think this is just the first step or second step by the basketball coaches to try to get some more uniformity in the classes, so there's not so much disparity. We're a Class 4A in basketball, and I just was putting together a wrestling classic, and Evansville North or somebody's coming, Fishers, and they got 2,900 students at Fishers, and they're in the same class of basketball we are, and we got 1,100 students. So there's a great discrepancy in enrollment.
Yes.
So they're trying to get fewer classes, split them into 2 sections where the enrollment size is a little more comparable for you. And then eventually you'd all kind of come back into the 1 class and have 3 state champions instead of 4 right now.
I see, but right now it's...
Kind of got shot down in flames.
Yeah, it did. It went down, but they have... they take the enrollment list and divide it into 4, and that's how the classes are determined. It's a little weird because you can be in 3A and the next team with 2 more students you have is 4A, so...
Well, and it varies from football. Franklin County's 3A in basketball, but they're 4A in football. So because there's 6 classes in football, and then you have to factor in the success factor, as Greensburg's won back-to-back state titles, and they're going to accumulate over their X amount of points. So the next classification, they're going to probably have to go up to the next level, which would be 4A. And then sometimes, where's that cutoff now? Do you drop one down?
Yes.
So one comes down, one goes up. So. And you don't move in every sport. They might be 3A in everything but basketball, and they'll be 4A in basketball. So there's a lot of factors and variables that go in to figure out where you end up in the final tallies.
Sure. Sure. Well, I know we're hoping for great success. Most of our athletes are honor roll students, I know, and this has to please you folks.
Well, I think, for the whole part, we all love athletics, or we probably all wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Sure.
But, we also understand, and I think our kids do, that education is going to take them a lot further than what their athletic careers are going to take them. And I'd say on the average, our GPA for our high school teams, whether it's varsity, JV, or freshman, is about 3.5. So, parents always say, well, we can't do our studies and we can't budget. But if you look at the general population compared to the athletes probably carry a higher GPA than the general population of students because they understand budgeting time and commitments and dedication, and that goes so far in life. You can learn a lot of lessons in sports, not just about sports. So it's great to have those. It's nice not to have to worry about.
Before we close tonight, we want to talk about some fundraisers coming up. I think some evening meals are being planned for...
Well, I know the boys always have a chicken dinner, and that will be this coming Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday 4 to 7. We'll be in the CMS cafeteria, and it's before the girls' game against Anderson.
Okay.
So it should be a good showing, and we've pre-sold a lot of tickets, so it should be a good showing for us. Most we've ever done this year. So
Great deal. And Michael, you've got something coming up for the
We're going to have a spaghetti dinner the night of the home opener for the boys against Union County. I think this is our 3rd year that we're having dinner. We've changed the meal each year, trying to, I don't know, maybe just change it up or also just, see what maybe works best. But that'll be Wednesday, 5 to 7 before the game. And the cost is $6 for adults and $4 for children. And then we are also working together, both the boys and girls program. We're selling basketball calendars this year. And I think our true fans of Connersville basketball will love it. It's full of history of boys and girls throughout the years. We've got in there all the tournament success from all the sectional, regional, semi-states, et cetera, that each boys and girls have won. I've got a lot of information in there about the 1972 state champions in this particular calendar, all the different 1,000-point scores for each program, all-stars, and just some random tidbit information that I'm sure a lot of people don't know or have forgotten about. So I think once they really see it, they'll be interested in that, and anyone can contact any boy or girl player or coach, and we'll have them at the chicken dinner for sale. We'll have them at the first boys game for sale. Good. And for $12, I think you'll be very happy. It turned out much nicer than I anticipated that it was going to be, so very excited for that.
Well, this is a first. I've never heard of this before.
It is a first, and I know we're going to be asked, well, what about the '83 state champions? And then my answer will be, well, wait till next year. The calendar will have another one. So I'm very excited about it. I think we got the idea started. I have a sports marketing class, and we were doing a lot of research of CHS sports, and the more we dove in, the more interested I got, and so I had a few of the students help me gather some information, and we just kind of went from there and ran with it.
Well, that's a great thing to have. I think it will become a collector's item for folks. And
I think so, and I had one of my parents or players yesterday tell me how excited they were that they got on the internet and found Basil's address, contacted Basil or phone number, whatever. They wanted to get his address so that they could buy him one and send him one. So
that's great.
I think there will be some things like that. It would be, I think, a great Christmas gift for a lot of past players.
Sure.
So we're excited about it.
Well, that sounds great. Great success with it.
I hope so.
Hope it works out real well. Chris, you're the boys coach, assistant, helping Carrie. Who else helps you guys?
Our varsity assistants are J.D. Miller. I think this is J.D.'s 7th or 8th year. Mm-hmm. Cody Smith, who was a former player for Coach Brown. I think Cody's into his 3rd season. He's the other the varsity assistant. I'm the JV coach, and then Tim Howard is our freshman coach, and Tim has been down there for a while. He was actually, when I was in my middle school, he was actually one of my assistants in middle school, and has moved up, and I've mentored him a little bit. So I'm excited for Tim. He does a good job down there at the freshman level, and we got our 4 middle school coaches, which is Chris Bloom, a former ex-player, John Reynolds, Chris Silcott, and my mind's blank on my 4th for some reason. They're going to shoot me. But Brian Munchell, who's a former ex-Spartan as well. Sorry, Brian. And so we're doing a good job, and guys are doing a great job down at the middle school level getting us ready. They're running the same things we're running, and our program's going the right direction. Mm-hmm. We're running a middle school league, a grade school league on Sundays as well, from 2nd grade up to 6th grade, and we have a lot of teams involved in that as well. So our hands are in a lot of basketball right now.
Oh, that's great. A lot of theater program coming up here.
That's right.
Michael, who helps you on your girls?
Daniel Hafner is our varsity assistant. It's about Daniel's 4th or 5th year. New JV coach this year, Sandy Peck. She's been in the program 3 years as our 7th grade white coach, and she's doing a good job. And Rick Brown is our freshman coach that's been returning the last few years. And then in our middle school, we have Jay King, Keith Runyon, Harold Gordon, and we just had to hire a new coach to replace Sandy down at the middle school, and I believe it's Rochelle Burkhead, who is a new PE teacher at CMS. So it's nice to have a teacher down in that building that's in that program. And I'm also very excited to have volunteering with us this year is Kendra Roosterholtz, a former player of mine, one of my favorites, just because of the way she worked. And the way she worked as a player is the way she's going to work right now, helping us out as a coach. So excited about that as well.
That's great. Sounds like a lot of people involved in it, which shows a lot of interest, and they want to help the kids, these girls and boys, to become responsible young men and young women. And that's great. That's what coaching is all about, I guess, right?
It is, and it's hard to find people that are willing to give up that much time. From their own family. You work all day, and then you add a few more hours every evening, and it's not just your basketball season anymore. You have to have your out of season, your spring and fall, and even in the middle school, they need to be involved a little bit with that, and so it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, and it takes a special person really to kind of be able to do that.
Yeah. Brent, how many students take part in athletics at CHS throughout the year? Have any idea of the number?
Well, at this point in time for this year, and of course we'll have some students that come out in the fall, or excuse me, in the spring and play some spring sports that may not. We're at about 468 kids so far that's participated in either in a fall sport or a winter sport.
So you have to keep track of their grades so that they are academically eligible?
Yep, I just did the basketball team yesterday, and I've done the other 4, and waiting on the gymnastics team. So we keep up with those each 6 weeks, or every 9 weeks now. I keep saying 6 weeks because we used to be, but Yep, we have to check those every 9 weeks and make sure we're all doing the
I
right
see.
things in classroom.
I see. I know you want to talk about Fayette Regional, the help that they give us at games. Their medical people are always there, it seems.
Sure. Our trainer is Heather Fry. This is Heather's second year, I believe. And this year we actually have Dr. Miller on board as an orthopedic. And I can't say enough about the last 4 athletic trainers that we've had from them. They've all been just outstanding. Chad Likens, Jonathan Allen, Kelly, it was Cooker. She just got married here recently. You won't know her last name again. And of course, now Heather, and then Dr. Miller came on board this year. So can't ask for much better help. There's always somebody there to take care of our athletes and make sure we're putting them out there in a safe fashion.
Yeah, I notice if a player goes down there on the field, right, or on the floor or the field, regarding the sports, right away to give all the assistance they can.
It's a very thankless job and a lot of commitment time because, there are times late at night after, they do their normal day work and then they're coming out here after night. So it takes a lot of time.
But are you required to have someone like that? Does IHSA require
There's
that?
no necessary requirements, but I almost bet every school in the state has somebody
I see.
that's around. Yeah. So.
Chris, we talked a little bit about your basketball. Did you want to say anything about your JV team, what you're expecting, and as you look over the schedule, who looks really tough this year for the boys?
Well, the new add-ins are great for us, being Shelbyville, and I'm excited to go there. It's been since I played, since I can remember us playing Shelbyville, so I'm excited about that. And of course, our conference teams, in our JV. It's always exciting for our JV to go play against conference rivals, and then setting the tone for our varsity, hopefully, to come out and follow suit. So I like to see us win, but of course, the varsity wins, we win. If the varsity loses, we lose. So really, it depends on what they're doing in front of us.
Michael, I know you're optimistic about the season this year.
I am, and like I said, I returned 4 girls that have some varsity experience, and that's good. But I have only 4 that have varsity experience. But we were 500 last year at 11-11, and I expect us to be slightly better than that this year. And I want us to compete for that conference, as we mentioned earlier, and hopefully give ourselves a chance when it comes sectional time as well.
Sure. Brenton, anything new on the horizon that we can expect?
Well, some excitement in the bowl. If you haven't been there yet, we have new lights that are now instant on and instant off. They're about twice as bright as what they used to be, so
Good.
That brings out the color of the gym. I know Michael and Carrie and Chris are all excited about them and get everything moving forward.
And we remind the people of the scrimmage coming up Saturday at 2 o'clock. You can watch Nicetown and the Spartans play a scrimmage game and see how they react against each other instead of playing the same players. They'll have some new faces to play with.
Yep. Grab some chicken and then head on into the Anderson game. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I was just thinking. They could make a whole day out of it right there.
Come and watch scrimmage, eat some chicken, and watch some girls.
Should be about the time you're starting.
That's right.
Okay, Mike, you're open with Anderson. Are they a pretty tough team this year?
They are. They have lost some, maybe in my opinion, their most talented players, but they sure do make the game very hard. They're very quick, make the game very chaotic, and we'll have our hands full. I watched them the other day, and there was over 60 turnovers in the game, but still scored almost 150 points. So we'll have our hands full, that's for sure.
Well, I wish you guys the best of luck on the season, and thank you for being on the show tonight. Thanks again for viewing on TV3, and the next Connersville Speaks will be the Christmas show in December. Good night, everybody.